Hey everybody, this is Beauty Holly coming at you with another cooking video. Can you believe it? Another cooking video. Tonight I am going to try this recipe from the Food and Family, the Kraft Food and Family magazine that I get every 3 months, I think. And this is what I'm going to try tonight. This is my first time making this, so I don't have any idea how this is going to turn out. This is called the Easy Ravioli Lasagna Bake. And it looks delicious. So I wanted to try it and see what it's all about. Doesn't that look good? Okay. Now, these are the ingredients for this recipe. And I'm just going to kind of go through each one and tell you what it is. First of all, I'm using these seasonings. Salt, have some salt, some pepper, some garlic salt, and some seasoning salt. So this is what I'm going to use to cook my meat. The recipe calls for 1 pound of extra lean ground beef. And that is my ground beef. It's not extra lean, but it's regular ground beef. That's what I had. Also, I'm going to use ground turkey as well. Gideon's ground turkey. So I'm going to mix those two together. And then it also calls for an onion. It didn't call for a bell pepper. It called for a carrot, for carrots, but I didn't want to use carrots. I decided to use onion and bell pepper for flavoring, for more flavor. Also, it calls for garlic, chopped garlic. This is minced. I do have some chopped in the refrigerator, but I decided to finish this up right here. It calls for spaghetti sauce, so I decided to use the 4 cheese spaghetti sauce. That's what I had in my pantry. It calls for frozen cheese raviolis. So I got this at Walmart yesterday. And it also calls for the Philadelphia cream cheese spread, 8 ounces. And it calls for a cup of milk. That's my milk right there. And it also calls for a half a cup of milk and a half a cup of water. And it also calls for mozzarella cheese, so I got a pack of that, and I'm also going to put some of this cheese in it as well, and Parmesan cheese, which is this right here. Yeah, so these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using today. So what I'm going to do is get started on the meat and get that cooking, and I will come back. See you in a bit. Bye. Hey everybody, this is Beauty Holly coming back at you. I'm getting ready to start with the meat, getting my ground beef and ground turkey ready for the lasagna. And I'm going to start off with some extra virgin olive oil, just to give it more flavor. I always say that, more flavor. And what I'm going to do first is put my vegetables in. I'm going to put my vegetables in. And I cut up onions and green peppers. We're going to start off with the vegetables, and then I will also put the meat in as well. I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. I have my eggs boiling because we're going to have salad along with the lasagna tonight. So we're going to start with the ground beef. And also the ground turkey. We're going to get this all mixed in, and then we're going to start with the seasonings. Okay, so we're going to start with some salt. And remember, y'all, I'm a little heavy-handed. I have to be careful. And some garlic salt. Some pepper, some black pepper. Ground black pepper. Okay, and then seasoning salt, seasonal by Morton. So everything that I have used has salt in it except for the ground pepper. So just be careful. Okay, that's enough. Okay. So we're just going to get this all mixed in. Okay, and so this is the meat. So we're going to let this cook and get done, and I'll be right back at you. See you in a bit. Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm going to add the garlic, and it says 3 cloves of garlic, so I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I don't want to put too much because garlic is pretty powerful. So let me add that in there. I almost forgot to add the garlic. Okay. Get that all mixed in and let that cook a bit. And then we'll move on to the next step. It's coming along very well. Again, this is my first time trying this recipe. And I'm excited. It looks very good on the cover of the magazine. So I want to try it. Something different for the family, you know. I usually don't cook lasagna and stuff like that. I think I tried a couple times and they didn't like it or whatever. So they're older and grown now, so we're going to see how they like this. So I've added the garlic. I'm going to let the meat cook a little bit longer. Let that garlic marinate in there, and then I'll be right back. See you in a bit. Okay, so the meat is done. The garlic is mixed in pretty well. I think it's cooked down. And also, I went ahead and added some seasoning, Italian seasoning, just to kind of make it my own, you know. And so I did add that in there as well. The next thing it calls for is to stir in the spaghetti sauce and the water. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me get the spaghetti sauce. And it asks for 24 ounces of the spaghetti sauce. So I'm opening it up for y'all. I should have had this done already. Okay, here's the spaghetti sauce. So it says stir in the spaghetti sauce and the water. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this in. That's the spaghetti sauce. Now, one thing about this recipe, it didn't say drain, and that's probably because it calls for lean ground beef. So I did drain some of the grease out because I used regular ground beef. So I went ahead and drained that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this water in this can here. Calls for a half a cup of water. And that's just so I can get the rest of the spaghetti sauce out. Uh-oh, making a mess. So, see all that? Get that spaghetti sauce out of there. We'll stir that. Okay, so basically it says stir in the spaghetti sauce in water and simmer for 5 minutes. Stirring occasionally. So my burner is on medium, and I may turn it down a little bit because I don't want this to splat everywhere. It's coming along very nicely. So we'll be back with the next step. Okay, so the meat sauce has simmered for 5 minutes, or really more than that. And so what it calls for now, let me turn the burner off. What it calls for now is to spread half of the meat sauce into the bottom of a 13-inch baking pan. So it says to spray lightly. So I'm using Crisco Original cooking spray. And what I'm going to do is to spread half of this into this pan. Okay, hope you can see that. So I spread half of that in there, and then it calls for let's see, it says to cover with half of the raviolis. These are the raviolis, and I'm just going to cover it with half of them. Just going to put them in here. And it's like 24 in here, I believe.
Well, being a child today is tougher than any time. Nikki is blessed with a very
Spread all
precious
this in here like that.
innocence. You were about to take that away from me. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to be mad at you. Oh, well, nothing is forever with children. They grow up. They forget. They remember something. We used to believe in me once. Maybe you ought to try believing in me again.
Okay, so that's about half. And so now it says to whisk the cream cheese, which I showed you the cream cheese earlier, and milk together. And then it says to spread over the raviolis. So I'm just going to kind of pour this over. And I think it says cheese, spread milk until blended, and spread over the raviolis, and then top with shredded cheese. So I'm just going to use all of this. Alright, so that's that. And it says put the cheese over. It says to top layer, let's see, top with layers of 3/4 cup of cheese and remaining ravioli and meat sauce and cheese over that. So I'm going to use both the mozzarella and the Mexican style cheese, because we like cheese over here.
It's nice to get back to basics. Use P3 Portable Protein Pack from Oscar Mayer with 13 grams of serious protein. It's P3. It's Oscar Mayer.
Okay, that's the mozzarella. And now I'm going to do the Mexican cheese. That's the Mexican cheese.
With the performance of a laptop with Intel inside and versatility of a tablet, the Inspiron 11 has everything a kid needs to learn and do just about anything. Whoa! Genius. Like Lasagna? Like that. The new Dell Inspiron 11 2-in-1 starting at $399.99.
Okay, so then it says to add remaining ravioli and meat sauce and cheese on top of that. So we're going to add the remaining of the ravioli.
The thought of your baby girl driving around all by herself was... You just weren't ready. But she did that. Because she's your baby girl. And now you're proud. A bundle of nerves. But proud.
Get a discount when you add a new licensed team to your Liberty Mutual insurance policy. Call 1-888-490-3122 to learn about our full range of life benefit discounts, newlywed discount, new college graduate, and retiree discounts. You can even
This looks like this is going to be really, really good.
Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-888-490-3122. See car insurance for a whole new life. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Okay, so that's all the raviolis, and then we're gonna add 3/4 cup of cheese.
While they're two sheets, just quit. Bounty, the no quit picker upper.
Let's see, spread over the ravioli, top shredded cheese and remaining ravioli. So we're gonna put the says top with layer of more cheese. And I don't want to forget the Parmesan, so I'm going to put that on top of this part right here. And I don't know if the Parmesan is part of the cheese that we should be...
Tastes like? That's insane. Alright, it's soaked vanilla almond milk. Obviously tastes like
Hold on, y'all. Trying to make sure I'm doing this right. This is my first time fixing a recipe for the first time on camera, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Hey girl,
Hey, Carl, what's up, man? These are books I need.
Well, classes have been in session for 5 weeks and you're buying books now?
Oh, yeah.
Meat sauce and cheese cover. So, okay, let's just go ahead and add the remaining of the meat sauce.
$4.20, that's a graduate course.
Oh, yeah, this is advanced placement.
Love drama, going first trip.
My passion is puppet training. Here.
Let's spread that around.
Hate drama? Go to cars.com. Research, price, find. Only cars.com helps you get the right car without all the drama.
Okay, add remaining cheese. Sauce and cheese cover.
Why cut damaged hair when you can repair it?
I think I'm not gonna use the Parmesan cheese until we eat it at the table. So I'm just gonna focus on the mozzarella cheese and the shredded Mexican cheese. And then when we get to the table, just like you know you eat spaghetti and you put Parmesan cheese over it, that's what we're gonna do. Alrighty. Now this looks delicious. So let me show you. Hope you can see that. So it says to cover. So we're gonna cover this. And it says to cover and to bake for 50 minutes. 50 minutes. So put this in my preheated oven, and I'm going to set my timer to, timer, not fan. Okay, so everything is in the oven, everything is done, everything is in the oven. We have 50 minutes until it's heated through. And then it says uncover for the last 10 minutes and let stand for 10 minutes before cutting to serve. So I am going to go ahead and make my salad and and get that ready and chilled. And I'll be back in about an hour. So I will see you all then. Hey everybody, this is Beauty Holly coming back at you with the finished product. Let me show you what it looks like. I just took it out the oven. Still a little hot, but this is what it looks like. I hope you can see that. It's cheesy, and it does have a little grease. It has grease in it. I should have drained all the oil, all the grease out of the meat in there, but I didn't. So we're going to see how that works for us. But anyway, because the recipe didn't say to drain, and that was simply because it says to use lean ground beef. So this is the recipe, the easy, can you see that? Easy ravioli lasagna bake. And that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So this is my first time baking this. So let's cut into this and see what it looks like.
Not all toothbrushes
see here.
Oral-B toothbrushes are engineered with end-grounded bristles, so brushing doesn't scratch veins and angle perfectly to remove 90% of flat for a healthier smile.
Alright, so that's what it looks like. Mozzarella cheese, the raviolis, the meat sauce, everything. So yeah, I can't wait to try this. Yes, and along with this, we're going to have salad, tomatoes, red onions. I put some Mrs. Dash seasoning over it. I have cucumbers, lettuce, and then I'm going to top it with some cheese also. and boiled. We have boiled eggs, so we're gonna have salad with that, and then we're also gonna have garlic bread, which is already in the oven. So I want to thank you so much for spending time with me. Thumbs up this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.